It's time to have some tough conversations. Yes, sir. Welcome into the Barncast Live Sunday night edition. It's Kyle Rush, Daryl Dapprich, and Zach Blackerby. And dadgummit, I swear, one day soon, gang, this is going to be like, we're going to be happy when we have the show. Like we're going to be talking about something fun. We may have to wait until basketball season, but yeah, obviously Auburn drops another one to Georgia, 20-10. It was brutal. You kind of felt it coming for the whole second half. You just felt it coming, and it obviously got on us, and we couldn't battle back. We're going to talk about after sitting on it for 24 hours, what's the most disappointing part of it? And then, hey, look, we're not going to put our head in the sand. There's some very real decisions that are either in the process of being made or will be made very, very soon. As far as I say, very soon, upcoming regarding Hugh Freeze's tenure at Auburn, whether it be positive or negative. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk through all those. So we'll jump into that in just a second. But before we do that, let's give a quick shout out to Rhoback.com. Use coupon code BARN20 to take 20% off your order. Polos, hoodies, pullovers, doesn't matter. They got it. They have Auburn licensed apparel. Saw a ton of Rhoback licensed apparel around campus.
I wore one because you finally brought me my hoodie.
Yeah. I saw a bunch of folks wearing some Rhoback. So hopefully they're using that coupon.
In yet? I know you ordered one.
Is yours in, Dap?
It is. It is in.
Nice.
Absolutely. It looks great too.
Show them some love for Rhoback.com. All right, guys. Look, it's not fun. I've sat on it. I've really thought about things hard for 24 hours. I guess it's a little bit less than 24 hours because we were about halftime or a little bit before halftime 24 hours ago. But brutal loss. I'm just going to go around the horn. I mean, after a day of sitting on it and meditating and thinking about it, what's the key thing about the game that's like almost, I don't want to say unforgivable, but just the biggest thing that's like the biggest disappointment, I guess?
Well, I think that there is the way that things are happening is just very, I would use the word very cruel. It's almost like my biggest takeaway is living in false hope is the way I would describe it. Is for a half, you really felt like something special was going to happen and everything was clicking on all cylinders. And things have just happened in the last 3 or 4 years to this program that has just been cruel and torturous. And they're sudden. They're sudden. So that for me is the biggest takeaway, is that right when you start, I mean, hope, like they say in the Shawshank Redemption, hope is a dangerous thing. And right when you start to feel it, it just absolutely gut punches you. During Harson's years, his last year, I just never went into a game feeling like Auburn was going to win. Yeah. And during the game, there just didn't seem to be hope. There wasn't recruits. There wasn't the talent. There wasn't the roster. And then, like Zach, who I'm not blaming, like we start posting graphics of things that just slap you in the face with it. Like maybe it wasn't Zach that posted. Somebody posted the second half scoring graphic, and then somebody else posted, if you're an Auburn senior, the wins that you've got to experience at Auburn home games. And oh my gosh, does that make you want to get on Prozac?
Conference home games, I think.
Yeah, conference home games, right.
It's like five. You got to see 5 home conference games.
5 home conference wins, and it's like 2 of them are Texas A&M.
It's like Mississippi State.
It's 4. Mississippi State, and then what was the other one?
Arkansas, I think.
Arkansas.
That's rough. That's rough. I already got a super chat. James Franklin to Auburn, ? Zach, you want to take that one?
It would be an upgrade.
Wow. That hurts.
Am I wrong?
If people had
you act like it wouldn't be an upgrade?
I don't know.
Freeze's character. Right. Yeah. If
I don't think that'll happen.
Yeah.
Don't hate it, but I don't think it'll happen.
No, and like this, Graham McLean says, Franklin's not the answer. He can't win big games. Well, he can win some games, and I think that's the part that we're struggling with. Zach, 24 hours later, what's the most disappointing thing from the game? Losing another one to Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, I think what Daryl said, I think we're kind of in lockstep. I'm going to butcher the saying, but like they won't remember what you did, but they'll remember how you made them feel. And like the fact that as soon as it got to 10-10, like there was nobody in the world on the Auburn side that was like, oh, we're about to bounce back. It's fine. It's fine. And then it's just the way when Georgia goes up 13-10, just the way those 3 points feel it feels like a mountain.
Yeah.
We're like, I don't think we got 3 points in us. I don't think we got 3 more in us. And that's sad.
It is, man.
And we should never feel that way with what is on this roster.
And that is it for me. Every single time you go into one of these games, you're like, this is going to be it because the talent's there. Like, this is going to be the game. Like, this is it because they're just too good to not perform at a really high level. And you were talking about that graphic, Dap, and what it said. Shout out to Kurt Cobarner off of the barnauburn.com. Auburn in the second half versus the 3 SEC opponents that we've had have scored 1 touchdown. And that is not counting the 2-yard drive. He took
say that again.
Auburn against SEC opponents this year has scored 1 touchdown in the second half, not counting the 2-yard drive because that was set up.
You shouldn't count it.
Yeah, we don't count that one. 1 touchdown with this offensive roster.
And they gave up a safety.
Yeah, it's so you're negative 2. You're almost in the negative. It's
a
really
net positive of 5 points.
It's really it's almost impossible to figure out, to see how it could be that bad. Like, how could it be that bad with this roster? And I think that's what week after week it just it sort of festers, I guess, if that's right.
Well, it's hard to wrap my head around what you just said. Almost a negative net. It's like it's criminally negligent is what it is. I can't. I guess it's the reality smacks you in the face and makes it worse because there's so much hype and hope and, because let's be honest, guys, off the field and organizational wise with recruiting and coaching staffs, everything there was positive and set up. And then what did we keep saying year after year? Okay, but there's still the proof of concept. We still got to see it on the field. That's the biggest piece, and that's been the most disappointing piece.
Yep. Super chat, and I got something to spin off of this. TJ Lou says, do you think Ashton can get the ball to spots better? Ashton Daniels. My dad said this and after the game, and this is kind of in relation to the Ashton question. Everything about this summer and what Hugh was saying about, quote unquote, having to, I don't want to say, taking it easy on Jackson, or really worried about, or seemed to be very, very concerned about Jackson being confident. That was it. We got to make sure he's confident leaving practice. All that makes so much sense now. Like that, it is not so much that we took it easy on Jackson, took it easy on Jackson and this is the result. He can't handle adversity. Like it seems like he can't handle when things go wrong. And I don't know if you just kind of can keep putting him in bad situations in practice and maybe eventually you shake him of it. But all of that makes so much sense now. I think there's a flaw in his game right now that's going to take a lot of coaching to get him out of. And that's why I think it makes no sense to put him out there against Missouri. And I'm probably going to talk about that a bunch this week, but I don't know that Ashton's going to be more accurate. I don't know that he's going to be a better passer in general, but if he's got 20% more confidence, he's a better quarterback. Is that crazy to say?
I'm going to let Zach go first because I have a really, really
no, you're the Ashton Daniels guy. You go.
Well, first of all, it's 2 quarterbacks in a row, in my opinion, that cannot overcome adversity. That once Peyton Thorne was really good when he was playing ahead and things were clicking.
Yeah.
And we kept saying he can't bring Auburn back once he faces adversity. To me, now that's become a reflection of your head coach.
Yeah.
If you've got two quarterbacks in a row that exhibit those traits, then that means that you're a reflection of your coach. And so that's the problem. Number two, having seen a lot of Ashton Daniel games at Stanford where he's had crap around him. Now he's playing lesser opponents in the ACC. I get it. But he came back in some games and battled. He was a battler. I mean, just fought like crazy. Look, as dynamic as Jackson Arnold is with his legs, I can assure you that Ashton Daniels is just as dynamic running the ball.
Maybe more.
That's at least a wash. So if you have a hint, even a smidge of a hope of an upgrade through the air, he's the better option. And then that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah, and I'm curious. I'm curious what the receivers would want.
Yeah.
I'm curious if they want to change. They can't be happy with the offense. Is that directed at Jackson? Like, is it directed at quarterback play? Is it directed to coaching and scheme? Offensive coordinator, head coach, play calling? Like, I'd love to know. I'd love to know.
You gotta think that they're at least voicing. You gotta think they're voicing frustration, like vocally. At some point, the dam's got to break. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
These guys are too
they want
good.
the ball, and they want the ball in spots. And I'm going to tell you something that was very telling that Hugh Freeze said in his press conference last night is that he wanted to do more perimeter runs with Jackson, but he didn't. And I want to know why. But if you're going to go perimeter quarterback runs, Ashton Daniels is your dude. Go watch film on him getting outside of Clemson's defense. There are some good defenses in the ACC. I mean, and so, but even in the Pac-10, there really wasn't. Washington had a decent defense, but so I don't know. How can it be any worse? I guess that's what I'm saying is when you score
I
one
guess
touchdown,
turnovers is how it gets worse.
You're right, but if you design, and that's the problem, can you scheme him to play to his strengths? That's the issue, because he's got strengths. He's got tool
But
belt.
once again, like, I think if you could scheme Jackson to his strengths, it'd be solid.
What are Jackson's strengths?
No, see, that's the difference. I think there's
football.
something here. I think there's something here with Jackson. I'm telling you, I watch body. You could scheme up the most beautiful play calls and play designs, and if he's not throwing to guys that are running free open in the secondary, that's on him. If he's holding the ball too long, if he's making the wrong 4th and 10, and you run it up the middle for a 4-yard gain when you're down 10 with a minute to go, that's not scheme.
I tell you what, guys, them putting him next to Hugh Freeze at the press conferences is wild to me.
So here's the thing, okay? I think this is, I said this before, I really feel like they thought they were going to be really good on offense, like really, really good on offense. And maybe this is just being out of touch with what you really have, but that was going to be a thing. They were just going to have Jackson up there, and it's going to be a dang celebration. We're going to be talking about all these records we're breaking and all these points we're scoring.
I love the vision.
And
I love
now
the vision
you can't, but like, how do you get out of it? Now that
Guys,
you've sort of done it.
Can I just be?
Yeah.
It's awkward to ask the questions you want to ask with him up there. And I was right in the middle of that last night, and I watched his face. I watched his body language.
Messed up.
Well, no, I didn't do that.
He wasn't saying you.
I think it's messed up with Auburn. I think. Why is Auburn doing that to this kid?
But you have to ask the question. When the coach says the personnel's not doing this, they're missing assignments, they're not throwing to open receivers, they're missing big passing plays, and he continually says that it's like a player thing or a personnel thing, then my question was, then why aren't you changing personnel? And the most important change is your most crucial positions. And guys, you should have seen his head drop. It was uncomfortable, but the question needs to be asked. Freeze put it out there with making that statement. That's the problem. Give Chaplin credit. He bounced back. But
he did have one false start, but that to me was more the sub package and everything going in and late in the play clock. That was kind of just confusion. Let's hit some of these. Super chats, and then I want to change topics up. So we got West Dog. I asked the question last live: when do we accept Hugh Freeze can't get it done? I'm there at this point.
We're there, West Dog.
We're there. And you know what I'd like to have? We need to have a little audible sound when these super chats come up, Kyle, like a ding or a cha-ching or something kind of fun.
You can do that.
Yeah. If you want to set that up there, that'd be great.
I don't know how to do that.
I think that can be
I'm 56 years old. I'm good at checking voice.
I don't know how to do that. We have to go through OBS, I think. I don't want to do that.
Okay, I was just throwing it out there.
Michael Grinaway says, put Deuce in. Hugh has to make a change. I think you put Ashton in before you put Deuce.
I wouldn't want to throw Deuce into if something happens and it goes south, you could, really hurt his confidence.
Yeah, if you lose the next few or whatever and you want to trot him out there against Mercer, I don't have an issue with that at all. Either. But right now, like, we still have games we can win.
Absolutely, and that's what we're going to get to, because this is why it's a conversation that needs to be had.
Graham McLean, thank goodness I get to watch Auburn basketball on Wednesday. I guess was Wednesday the
it's the exhibition
game or something.
Balling in Boutwell. I'll be there.
We need a sound that plays when we mention that
for the barn. Okay, now Zach's being cute.
Nikki Bomar, Kurt Signetti, Lane Kiffin, and John Gruden, top three.
Those are three coaches for sure.
Yep. I want to make a step out, or not a step out. I want to just go ahead and say I never want a head coach that's a primary play caller ever again on both sides of the ball. Let's just make that a criteria, even if it's Lane Kiffin. Don't want it. Pass. Hard pass.
You would take Lane Kiffin right now as a play caller? If you said Lane Kiffin, you're getting Lane Kiffin, but he's going to call plays. You wouldn't take it?
No.
Interesting. Okay.
He's going to lose. He's never going to make the playoffs ever. He's not going to make it this year. Just watch.
Okay.
And if he does, I'll eat my words. He's going to lose 3 games a year that he has no business losing. I don't want any part of Lane Kiffin.
Right.
Young Joker 23. If we had a mediocre offense, we're undefeated.
You're correct.
And it probably doesn't even have to be all the way mediocre. It's just
if Jackson's the 10th best quarterback in the SEC, I think we're undefeated right now.
Man.
Let's all just cry on that for a second. We need a little sound that plays when we say that.
Yeah. Matthew Reeves, I kind of want to see Ashton Daniels. Jackson Arnold's play being dictated by confidence is killing me. Yeah, I agree. I think
Matthew, for sure.
I think it's almost impossible not to play Ashton moving forward. TJ Lou, Ashton had that wide receiver.
Yeah.
He has
What's his name? What's his name, Kyle?
Ayomanor.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
That dude was
a little
beast.
sound bite that plays whenever we say his name.
You're lucky I don't have my phone next to me that could text you right now.
I'll get him later, I'm sure.
NH3425, no identity on offense, no emotion, no leadership. Someone on offense step up and say, I'm making the play to win. The 19, 17, 13, 10 teams knew how to come back. Hugh has no emotion. He does seem he seems very defeated.
The only time Hugh has emotions is when he can whine about a call. That's the only time you really see him fired up.
He got a little fired up with someone that asked a question at the press conference last night. I saw emotion then.
Yeah.
What question was it?
It was, what does accountability look like? We're halfway through the season. And he was like, and the results aren't there. And man,
he had a really quick answer, didn't he?
It was accountability looks like me showing up at work on Monday and trying to get a win. That's accountability. And then he went to the next question.
My follow-up would be like, are you not working on Sunday? I don't know.
Thursday?
They do work on Sunday. I don't know why he answered it that way.
Yeah, why did he say Monday on that?
Yeah. I don't know.
I feel like there's some irony in there, but we don't have
to. He was shook.
I want to.
Yeah. Last one, and then we'll switch topics. Are we favored for Missouri because it's at home? Yeah,
I guess.
That's the only reason. Also we're talented. We have a better roster than them.
What if
quarterback?
What if it's this belief that it just cannot continue to happen, that at some point Auburn will get a break, at some point the officiating won't suck, and Auburn will get one of these? I mean, that's the I think the belief, but
exactly. It's crazy. But that's why I think you got a talented roster and you're at home and they're thinking there's just no way they can keep blowing this many
Law
games.
of averages, yes.
All right, I want to ask a tough question, or let's have a tough conversation.
Okay.
We're not going to be
questions real quick, Kyle, before we move on.
Yeah. Just want to say I'm an Auburn fan because my dad played there in the 80s and I chose to be a Browns fan, so my life's hell.
That's tough.
That is tough.
Man, I'm sorry.
I can't imagine not having an exciting quarterback like Drake May to cheer for on Sundays.
I can't imagine being 4-1.
Couldn't be you.
Yeah.
You're welcome for a 5-turnover game. 5 turnovers and y'all barely beat us. Chill out.
Well, I mean, I don't think they show you that in the box score. Just has a win next to it in the standings. I didn't see,
Yeah, y'all are totally
you'll
going to
get your chance in the playoffs. Probably,
y'all are totally going to go farther than us this year for sure.
So there's no doubt that I'm sure that there's conversations being had about Hugh's future at Auburn, whether they're in an official capacity, behind the scenes capacity. I know fans are talking about it. They're talking about it in the chat right now. I just saw one that says, I don't even care if Hugh wins out. He needs to go, which that's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, let's hold on that.
But I mean, let's talk about it. It's been you're 1-11 versus top 10 teams. What's your record in conference is putrid. It's like 5-14 or something like that, or something crazy.
He's 1-11 against top. Who'd he beat? What top 10 team did he beat?
Was it Texas A&M? Were they top 10 when he beat them?
They weren't top 10. They were 22nd.
I doubt it.
They were 22nd.
It's in 1-11. Maybe top 15 team.
Because there's 0 wins against the team that finished the year ranked.
I don't like that stat. What does it matter where they finished? Well, when you beat them, they're going to drop.
That's the accurate ranking.
No, because they drop.
You don't think the most accurate ranking is the one at the end?
No, because they drop.
You
can't count that. You can't count that because they automatically drop when you beat them. That goes back to the 2004 argument. I don't like that argument because they were talking about Tennessee. We said we had 2 wins against top 15 teams or whatever. But Tennessee's ranking dropped. They drop when you beat them. So so you think this week's rankings are more accurate than last week's rankings? No. What I'm saying is counting a win, saying it's like a quad 1 win, how they fall in and out of quad 1 wins. I don't think that works with football. I don't think that, you can't just say, if you knock off a top 10 team, you ought to get credit for that, for knocking off a top 10 team, because their ranking is going to drop no matter what.
Well, I think it's 2 different stats. You have ranking, what you just said, record versus top 15 teams or whatever. Somebody in the chat said A&M was 15, so that would make sense.
Yeah.
And then I think when you're talking about a full body of work, I do think that's worth noting.
Okay. That's cool. We got another super chat. Sorry, they're flying in. I want to make sure we get everybody in.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Fire Hugh. This team's response after the half says everything it needs to about his coaching ability. I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, you're right, Cole. Absolutely.
Okay, so back to the we got one more. Hold on. Brent Key from Georgia Tech. I'd be fired up for Brent Key. I think he's home.
He can coach.
He can coach football for sure.
What does Eric Singleton think about that?
How about that guy that said we wish we were Georgia Tech and everybody got mad? Remember that?
Oh, he nailed that.
He nailed that one.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about it.
Happens.
What is realistically, what does it look like? What does the rest of the season look like? Let's start off, how does Hugh keep it? I mean, short of just winning every game, is there any scenario that you see Hugh coaching here the rest of the season or even next season, one or the other, or both?
It feels very much like a dead man walking right now. But the ironic part of that is it's fluid because it could change. And I've seen it change before. So again, I'm not, blowing sunshine. I'm not booging. I'm not saying this can happen. This will happen. I'm saying it could happen. There is a scenario where he survives this year. And that scenario starts with Saturday night. You beat Missouri, and 3 or 4 more wins become very, very likely. And at 8-4 and winning a bowl game, even if he was to lose to someone like Alabama. But I think that he looks like he's already done. You see what I'm saying? Even if he was to win 8 games, that there would be maybe a stepping down process. Now, I truly believe that there are conversations happening right now and plans, contingency plans being placed and phone calls being made. I feel really good about that happening and where I believe that. But I also feel like this timeline gets sped up if he loses to Missouri Saturday.
Yeah.
Because you have a guy like Durkin who could be an inherent solution that's on the staff right now.
So I think Durkin, there's two ways of looking at this. Durkin could make it easier, or he can make this way more difficult.
Because I know where you're going with this.
And some of it depends on like what is Cohen and whatever committees formed or leadership, what is their plan? Like, do they want Durkin? Because then if they do want Durkin, you make him the interim. But what if they keep losing?
Yeah.
Or if you just say, all right, we got to get rid of Freeze and like Durkin can get us there, and maybe the next head coach will want to retain Durkin. What if Durkin starts winning? What if he beats Vanderbilt? Then what if he beats Alabama and all of a sudden you're 7-5 and you look a lot better offensively and you win the bowl game and all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, let's just hire Durkin. But maybe they don't want to do that. So I think there's two different ways that could go, where I think it makes it a little tricky regardless of what the powers that be want.
The problem here inherently, if you're a proponent of, and I'm not saying I'm one way or the other, if you're a proponent for getting Hugh out now, the problem is he sort of boxed this thing in, whether he did it on purpose or he did it by accident, and there's really nobody there to call play. Like there's nobody there that's really got a much experience at all calling plays, and I don't know how often it is that happens. Like I think, who was it that called plays whenever we fired Brian Harsin? It was Will Friend. I think he was like drawing plays up in the dirt. So like I know these guys
like run left, run right.
Yeah, he's been around enough they can do it, but you have kind of put yourself in a position where you don't. Kent Austin's probably going to be who you go to.
He's called plays at Ole Miss.
Yeah. He would be the guy
successful at doing it. So he would be he was successful calling plays at Ole Miss. So, and I think he did that. Was he at Ole Miss under Hugh and Lane?
Who, Kent?
Yeah.
Kent was not under Lane.
Okay.
I think he went. Yeah, I think he went with Hugh.
Somewhere I read that he's called plays before and he was pretty successful at it. So that would have to be your option. Do you bring in an offensive analyst and let them stay with you? I mean, I remember, who was that dude that everybody started with Dan, and he ended up being the offensive coordinator at Miami, and he was always linked to Tuberville. Dan, somebody that was an offensive analyst, and everyone brought him in, and they used Dan Warner, yeah, and they used him, and he would come in and like be a guru and could call plays. So do you bring an analyst in, somebody that's maybe unemployed right now but knows a lot of football? I don't know.
I think it's you got to have two different mindsets. If you desire Durkin, what's that?
Dan Enos.
Dan Enos. Yes, there you go.
If you desire,
what's his last name?
Enos.
Enos, I think.
Say it again, Daryl.
Enos.
That's not what you just said.
I know, but I've changed it because I know.
Okay.
You're on a heater tonight.
I'm not on a heater. I'm just asking questions.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
There's two different modes of thought with DJ Durkin. If you want him to be the head coach, I think you have to be very, very, or you want him to be a candidate. You have to be very strategic when you pull the trigger, in my opinion, and how you pull the trigger.
I think it's almost a little ironic, a little backwards. If you want him to be a serious candidate, I think it's safer to not have him be interim.
Yeah, I do too. Or you wait until the bye week, the second bye week, and then his first game's against Mercer, and then you go against Alabama and just see what happens. And you're 1-1, and you just take it from there. I think it'd be dangerous to throw him out there. You got Bobby Petrino, who's taken over, and who knows? They looked really good against was it Tennessee? They just played. I think they gave them a shot. They almost had a chance to win that game.
Hey,
and
speaking of, you're the only 10 I see.
Let's go, baby.
Kentucky.
You got Vanderbilt, who's really good, who could pummel you in Nashville, which is crazy to think. So you would just hate to have him rack up some losses if that's a direction you want to go in. It's kind of tricky.
I would look at it. I disagree on that. I would look at it as you wanted to have an audition. Okay. And he's been a head coach before. This isn't uncharted territory, albeit he wasn't great at Maryland, but he knows how to run a program. He knows how to be a head coach. You're not throwing him into the fire into something he hasn't already done. And you use this as an audition to see how he handles the rest of this schedule. And you're very honest with him about it and say, look, if you win some games and this team shows improvement offensively and, is in games and there's hope and they're proficient, then you give him the job. So and that's the best opportunity to keep the roster together.
Let's do this then. Let's do this real quick. So
by the way, we're not saying Durkin is the guy. Like
right. We're just throwing out hypotheticals.
But I do think he is important in regards to when you let go of Freeze if you do.
Yeah.
Because we're assuming he'll be the interim. So I don't think it would be crazy for Auburn to lose to Missouri and then they make the decision this weekend. Yeah, I don't think that's crazy. So with this scenario, just y'all follow me real quick and let's answer this. So let's assume Auburn loses to Mizzou. Durkin's named interim after they let go of Hugh Freeze. So you go to Arkansas, host Kentucky, at Vandy, host Mercer, host Bama. If you go 4-1 in that stretch with DJ Durkin, including an Iron Bowl win, do you have to give him the job?
Yes.
Because I think you do.
Yes. Yes.
And I don't know if that's all. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing.
I don't know.
Could be. I think you can make the argument both ways, but I don't know.
Boy, that's a tough one. Yeah, you would have to. Like it would be. There may be some fans that would be. There may be some fans that would be sort of iffy, but there's a ton of people in Auburn that love. There's a ton of people that matter at Auburn that
influential people that love DJ Durkin and would love to see him get that job.
Yeah.
So that's you. There's no way on God's green earth that if he finished with 8 wins, or 7 wins and won his bowl game and beat Bama, that he would. I mean, but now you're assuming that he loses one of those games you just said. Even if you said he beats Bama, maybe at Vanderbilt, which I'm again not a believer yet. I still want to see more. They got beat by Alabama, but
a little bold.
Here's the other thing: does Auburn break away from its traditional template in hiring coaches and say, you know what, I'm tired of the up and comers. I'm tired of getting the hot young group of 5 coach or the coordinator that's been really, really good. I want to go throw a bag at somebody that's an established Power 4 playoff caliber coach and let him come to Auburn and say, look at this roster, look at this NIL, look at this fan support. Look at all these things we have in place for you. And oh, by the way, because I am tired of the narrative that it's an automatic 3-year rebuild when you replace a coach.
Me too.
It's not anymore.
Especially now.
And especially now. You could come in with this roster with the right guy and win 8-9 games next year if you had the right guy that was schematically good and could call, whatever, had a good play caller. It's set up to succeed. Does Auburn go back to – and I know, Kyle, you don't want Lane Kiffin – do they go to a Signetti? Do they go to a Brent Key? Do they go to somebody, that's been in the play? I don't know. But
only one of those guys has been to the playoff, correct?
Yes,
that you mentioned, if that's a part of it. I don't know who the move that's coming to my mind is what LSU did to Notre Dame to get Brian Kelly. And we all have different opinions on Brian Kelly, but that was a major hire and they won right away with him. And ironically, they've won less since then. But can Auburn do that with somebody that you don't even think is on the market? Can they big boy a big boy program?
Who is that though?
Who is it?
I don't know. Everybody's so right now. It feels like there's the game to me has so much parity. There's not that there doesn't just seem to be like that blockbuster no-brainer guy out there.
Yeah, and also, I mean, every situation is so different. But like, does Signetti even want to leave? He doesn't seem too money motivated to me.
He's a much better
too.
fit at Penn State. He's a Pennsylvania guy. He coached at IUP. He's from Pittsburgh. That's a natural fit for him just to go to Penn State.
Yeah, and so then it's like, okay, who's got a big program that you think you could pay more money than, and you are a better spot to be in? And I don't know, like really the only one that comes to my mind is Dabo, and I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah. And he would have to show like a complete renaissance as far as his philosophy on the portal.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think he's a really good coach as far as like building a program. I don't know if that's how you build a program anymore.
Well, I would obviously make Lane Kiffin, just me. I would make him tell me no. I like Brent Key, even though he's not a playoff guy. He's still at least a Power 4 guy that's done really, really well. You know, there was one more that came to mind. I think someone put down on the list since we've kind of scratched off Signetti, but
John Summerall's name, it doesn't fit that, but his name's going to be, I'm sure, talked about. He's going to be one of the hotter coaches.
He would be in my top 5, possibly top 3.
Yeah.
Some of the luster obviously has gone off of the Matt Campbell from Iowa State. I don't know how we would recruit the SEC footprint. I'm not crazy about him.
Yeah.
The Texas
Tech guy, though, to say like
Dillingham's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah,
yes, and he has Auburn ties,
but he's a Sun Devil.
Though.
You know, I think he's home. I think that's another one where it's like I don't know if he'd leave. This hire, assuming this happens, I don't think I'm as gung-ho on the recruiting stuff as I have been in the past, because I think Auburn's NIL infrastructure is competitive enough.
Yeah, you can buy a team if you need to.
Yeah. So like, I don't think
we will just not play a home game if we need to get a
guys.
Good
think about this.
Let's just play in Atlanta and Nashville and Orlando.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be great.
A whole southeastern tour.
If it happens, did you ever see a scenario where Auburn had 4 coaches in 6 years?
Never.
And that's why you have to get it right, because Tennessee stayed in the desert for a long time with Dooley, Bush Jones, and Pruitt before they got Heupel. And, you know, you make choices like that. You get 2 or 3 bad ones in a row, and it just keeps you in the wilderness for 8 to 10 years. And Auburn, let's be honest, is in the worst stretch of football in its history right now.
Yep.
Let's just hire Bill Belichick. What could go wrong there?
Yeah, what could go wrong? John Gruden. I've been seeing a lot of John
high
Gruden.
on that. Yeah, I hear that. I'm like, no.
It's exciting. Has a ton of upside, but I want some longevity. I don't think it has longevity.
Yep. Yeah. Let's hit some super chats. James says Freeze has not adjusted to the rule changes made over the years to limit the RPO offenses. I'm not sure what those rules are, but
wait, is his first name James?
Jones. Sorry.
Okay.
Jones. Similar to Gus, but Gus seems to have adjusted somewhat. I just don't think you can have RPO has to be a play that you add to your repertoire. It can't be a philosophy. I don't think you're not dictating what the defense does. The defense dictates what you do. I think I've seen the light, Zach, there. Thomas Jones, last question of the night. Charlie 5, what's your pick? Steelers or Patriots in the playoffs? He did that on purpose, right? Because you got a Steelers and Patriots.
I don't think me or Dap can say anything. This is all you.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers. Let's go Steelers.
That's so stupid. That is so stupid.
He's having a good year.
You know so much more ball than that.
I know. I kind of wanted that reaction, though. Graham McLean, can we just bring Gus Malzahn back? Anybody want to comment? Absolutely not.
No.
I know he's joking.
Yeah.
It does kind of make you wish you could have one of those 8-5 seasons. Though.
I'd take an 8-4 in a heartbeat right now.
8-4 and no hope whatsoever of ever getting better. I get it. Thomas Jones again, James Franklin. I think we all have said.
I thought the last question of the night, Thomas Jones.
We've got several more. Let's see. And Signetti is the proof of that DAP. I don't know what that was in reference to.
I think that one came in when you were listing like the criteria of like you wanted somebody that was playoff proven.
Gotcha.
I think that was the timing of that one.
Hey, Nick Saban's available. He says he's calling Nick Saban. Make him say no.
That'd be awesome. Can you imagine? That'd be
Now,
great.
this is a good idea. Reese Dismuke says name Bruce Pearl the interim coach. If you out,
That'd be
Hugh Freeze.
so ballsy.
That would.
I don't even know what I would do with that information.
I think we might not lose a game if that were to happen.
Yeah, I'd be like, you know what? I don't think that makes a ton of sense, but I'm down to look at it.
He'll take his shirt off.
Why not?
I'd like him as athletic director if it ever didn't pan out with Cohen.
Can we talk about me? I was when we were on the goal line right before we fumbled. I said, if we score here, I'm taking my shirt off. That cost us the game. That cost us the game. Now I think about it. Tiffany B. Tim Simp. How does Sig try to go to Penn State when he will be figuring into the college football playoff? I think Lane Train makes sense. That's a good question.
Well, he went to the college football playoff with Indiana. He's got more resources at Penn State.
I think Penn State would probably wait on him.
Yeah,
and be okay with it.
I think that question was about the timing, though. Like,
I got you. Okay, my bad. I thought he was taking it as a strength of schedule thing. Yeah. They'd wait on him. Yeah.
James Stallin says James says if Hugh loses to Missouri, he's gone. Probably right.
I agree, James, that he's gone. Is he gone right after the game? I'm not sure.
Kyle, go ahead and say it. What's going to happen now Saturday?
Oh, without a doubt. If that's out there, we're going to win by 2 touchdowns. Like,
but that was apparently what happened with Harsin, right? We were going to fire him if we lost to Missouri, and then they just dropped the ball and like
out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
So if we fire Hugh after the season, we risk 2 portal openings. If we fire him mid-season, it kind of handcuffs the kids from immediately leaving. Here's the difference in that now. So used to when you fired a coach, the portal opened up immediately for 30 days. Now the portal doesn't open until 5 days after you make a new hire. So you make a new hire, you got a 5-day freeze, and then 15 days open up for the portal. And then you have the other portal in January.
Which is great because you have those 5 days to re-recruit your players with the new coach.
Exactly. Bring in a coordinator, whatever you got to do. Donovan says Kiffin plus Durkin would be an insane staff.
They already had it.
They had it over at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Couldn't make the playoff. Just saying.
Kiffin and Bruce Pearl were on the same athletic staff. How about them apples?
Wow.
At Tennessee.
Tennessee? Really?
Yeah, they sure were.
Graham McLean, can Tahad play quarterback? I bet he could.
I think he could.
Yeah, he'd be good on the perimeter.
Who's a basketball player we could take off the current roster and put him on this football team and would make an immediate impact?
Well,
Kevin Overton seems to me to have that dog in it.
He does.
But it's not about the players.
I know. Just having fun, Zach.
You're just having fun. No, we're not having fun right now.
Apparently we're not. All your kids are having fun out in the backyard, but you're not.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of stuff to talk about, guys. A lot of uncertainty out there. A lot of folks unhappy, and I understand it.
Look how much we loved everybody. We went an extra 15, 20 minutes, didn't we?
I know, man. Had to get those super chats in, guys. Really appreciate you joining in. We're gonna stick through this. We're gonna hang in there through the thick and the thin and get this thing done. So really appreciate everybody listening. We'll be back again next week. We'll have live streams, and you'll hear from all of us all daggone week long. So appreciate it. Have a great rest of your weekend. Talk soon.